everybody. This is Scott Hudspeth with Agent Mastermind. Welcome to the call. I'm super excited today. Got the lead solution team on with us, and you can see them on their screen there. They specialize in new strategies for generating sales and leads online, and they're going to talk about sales and marketing funnels today. And I'm sure we'll get into a bunch of other stuff, but I appreciate you guys being here and taking time out of your day. I know it's a little early out there in Arizona, not as early, but so I appreciate you guys being here and look forward to seeing what you guys have to share with us today.
Appreciate it. We're glad to be here.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we actually, out here in Arizona, everyone else is probably in some colder parts of the world than us, but I saw my breath this morning.
Right. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I can't do cold weather anymore, man. I blood's thinned out, and I like the warm. So
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
But yeah, we are the lead solution team. We own a digital marketing agency out here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm joined on here with Christian Cotta and Corey Smith. We'll get into introductions here in a second. But if you can see the slide deck, and I'm gonna call for some participation. The three of us, we do tons of different speaking engagements. We do lots of trainings. We're kind of in the game to teach people some of these newer concepts. What we do is we like to focus on newer algorithms with social platforms, how to incorporate them with every and any type of business you can think of, whether that's a brick and mortar store, e-commerce, any type of recruiting or selling, or in this case, real estate, right? And so what we're going to talk about today is funnels, mostly. We're going to talk about quite a few different things, but if you can see the title of this first slide, we titled this "How to Turn a $50 Facebook ad campaign into a 5,000 real estate commission." Now, that might sound bogus, it might sound crazy, but this is what we do. We make sure that we get very narrowed down in how we target people, and we generate cold traffic into warm or hot leads. And we're going to show you our system and how we do that, and how it might be a little bit different. And for a lot of you, it might be a lot of bit different than what you're currently doing right now. So let's jump to the next one. We'll do a little bit.
Before we dive into the slides, though, we've got a good group of people on here. We got 123 people. So let's to help us out throughout the presentation, if you guys wouldn't mind typing in, in the chat, and let us know where who you are, where you're tuning in from, so we know what parts of the country we've got agents in. Both Corey and I have an extensive background, which Dylan's going to tell you, in real estate, both residential and commercial. So we want to know who we're talking to, how long you've kind of been in the industry, and maybe like on a scale of 1 to 10, where you are in regards to, marketing online or even using technology to try and generate new leads, new buyers, sellers, transactions, all that good stuff. If you guys wouldn't mind typing that into the comments or into the chat, that would be awesome. We'd love it. Yeah. We'll give you a virtual high five.
Yeah, and like Christian said, we're going to ask a few questions on here because we like to make things really relevant to the people that we talk to. In fact, we actually had planned on here just Christian and I, but because of a recent speaking engagement that we did that actually had quite a few real estate agents in it, we invited Corey on here. Corey's one of our team members, and he focuses a lot on traffic and ads and basically anything nerdy that you can think of that you don't like to do. Corey can do it, and he's really good at it. So we brought him on here because people were so fascinated with our last little speaking engagement that we had with some of these new tricks and ways that we can write a web page or a message out to somebody. So starting off on this first slide, I am Dallin Greenberg, Christian Cotta right there in the middle if you can see the webcam in the yellow shirt, and then Corey Smith. And so between Christian and I, we have a little over 25 years of marketing and sales. Christian comes from commercial real estate. He's had a little over 15 years in commercial real estate. Very successful. quite a few different states that he worked in, had a lot of deals with a lot of the CVS pharmacies, a lot of fast food restaurant chains and things like that. And recently, well, not recently, I'd say in the last 3-4 years, with a lot of this video and live stream video coming into play, Christian, before either Corey and I, he got really into this way of live stream video, getting in front of people, getting a message and doing marketing this way. And if anyone's used Periscope, if you use Periscope, throw up a 1 or something if you know what it is. But Periscope was one of the first live stream where you could log on and you could stream to the world. Anyone could watch your broadcast. And Christian was one of the very, very first users on there, grew very, very quickly on it to the point where he was actually invited to be a Periscope Summit speaker with his knowledge of live stream video and a lot of the things that we do with that. We work alongside, the 3 of us work alongside with some of the top marketers in the world. In fact, we were just telling Scott on here, who's organized a lot of this, we were just down in Fort Lauderdale and Miami area with some of these guys that you probably never heard of them. In our world, they're a big deal. They're like our celebrities, but they actually they export a lot of their work out to us because of our knowledge and our strategies. And so it's fun to rub shoulders with a lot of these guys that are kind of behind the scenes, and we do some damage online. That's what we like to say. Both Christian and I, we walked away from kind of the sales world. I was more direct, so Christian would do a lot of the selling. I worked alongside a lot of real estate agents. I sold services. So after someone bought their house, I would sell them anything and everything that they needed to make their house work. And so any type of services, anything that needed an internet connection, that's kind of the world that I came from. I was really successful in it. And my biggest hiccup, my biggest problem was I was sick of going one sale at a time. I wanted to go bulk. I wanted to get in front of a lot of people. I got burnt with home shows and all the different types of marketing that I was doing at the time, and I needed to get a message out to a lot of people in a lot of different areas and states and countries. And when Christian and I got together, that's what we did. We figured out how to do that and get a message out very, very quickly. Corey here, like I said, I gave a little intro on him, but he owns a few very successful e-commerce stores. And when he partnered with us, his biggest hang-up was he was doing what a lot of you guys are probably doing and taking paid traffic, going straight to a website or a store or a catalog. And he's doing really, really good with that. But once we introduced him to kind of this world of, funnels, he got really excited. It was like Christmas Eve for him, and his sales have just blown up since we've been taking things through this. So here's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to keep the slides small. If you can't read it, I'm sorry, but the only reason I'm doing it is because it takes over my whole screen, and we're going to get a little interactive here. We love live video. We love people to see us, engage us, be able to talk to us. Seriously, any question that you have, as long as it's relevant to what we're talking about right now, put it up in the comments, because we want participation. We want people to get answers to their questions. So this might seem basic. Things, yeah.
They're throwing questions in here, and
I couldn't see them.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm responding. So you guys keep introducing yourself and keep throwing your questions, and Corey and I are over here taking a look at them and responding. So you just do your thing.
Go crazy. If you need to interrupt me, no problem. If there's an important question that you want me to touch on, we'll cruise. So this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the right type of website that you want to send cold traffic to. Remember, cold traffic is people you've never talked to before, people who've never seen you before, whether it's an ad, whether it's a post that you're making in a social media group, page, whatever. Then we're going to talk about there's kind of this buzzword, right? There's this thing called marketing funnels, sales funnels. A lot of people have heard them. A lot of people have probably been seeing them in their news feed. Funnels are the best thing that we say since sliced bread. It is how you need to do a lot of your marketing right now. You need to implement this ASAP.
Dallin, let me interrupt you real quick, because somebody said no audio, and I just want to make sure that if you guys can hear us, put a 1 in the chat, and let's make sure that it's not just one person that has no audio.
you guys are coming across fine to me. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
and me as well. So I just wanted to make sure. Okay, I can see a bunch. Yeah, the ones are just tearing up the chat bar
yeah.
right now. So
Yeah, so if you guys, a lot of people use their internet for audio, and it's always better to dial in. So you'll see an audio button there. If you click the audio button and click phone and then dial in, it's much better. You're not fighting the voice over IP. So just an FYI there if you're having a hard time hearing us. Of course, if you can't hear us, then you can't hear what I just said. But we'll keep going.
Okay, well, let me go back to this then. I don't know how that got off of here. So yeah, real quick, again, marketing funnels, that's what we're going to talk about the most. In fact, we're going to show you live how we build them, how easy it is. It's really not difficult. We don't want this to seem like a super tech-savvy thing. However, you can get very, very strategic and savvy with it. There's a lot of advanced tactics that you can do to it. You don't need all that stuff to make something a successful funnel. It's really just the source that you can tweak something and make it a living, I guess you can say a breathing thing online. We're going to show you how to get the most out of web traffic, and that's going to come a lot from Corey. We're also going to show you the right tools, all the tools that we use for this specific process on our end, how we launched quite a few successful campaigns and ads and products and different things that we do. And if everyone can, I know that a lot of people on here are busy. You might get a random call that comes through. I get it. We all have jobs. You got to work. So I'm going to put this here right here at the beginning. Get your phone. You're all going to get a copy of this, a recording of this, but get your phone or take a snapshot on your computer. This is our information. We've set up links exclusively for the attendees here, so it's relevant to what we're talking about. It's something that you can go to. Just bonus stuff that we put together for everyone if you want some of these tools that we have. But seriously, take a snapshot of them, grab that in case you need to contact us. And then the biggest thing that we ask, seriously, because we think that this is gold. We think that this is seriously some of the best stuff that's happened in our personal campaigns, a lot of things that we're doing. We know and have helped a ton of people have massive success using these types of strategies that they've implemented into their business. So just give us like 30, 40 minutes. We're going to take a ton of questions at the end if people have really specific questions. I promise you will after Christian and Corey talk specifically. So just put things aside. I know the slide probably trips your eyes out and kind of goofs with mine, but just focus just for a few minutes. You're going to love it, I promise. So we're going to dive right in this. We're going to talk about why websites struggle to convert traffic. And so one of the things that we wanted to touch on first was a lot of people, and feel free to put this in the comments, throw up a 1 if you have a website that you send your traffic to, whether it's a post in a Facebook group or if you do an ad, and that website that you have is owned by your, whether it's a brokerage or a larger scale. I'm going to show you an example of this. Can everyone see this page right here? Can you guys see this? Corey? Christian?
Yep.
Okay, so this is most likely what a lot of you have, okay? It's a page that someone might go to. It's like a catalog, right? It's going to have the MLS system on here. Maybe you're going to have an ad that says, what's your home worth, or something like that, and that's your way of drawing people's attention. You're getting them in. But it's a very big, broad website. It takes someone to actually sit down, scroll through, and to be honest, at the end of the day, there's a couple problems with this. One is you don't own this site. Your brokerage does. Someone can get on here. They can say, okay, I want to meet an agent. How do they know what agent to choose? Maybe your link goes straight to your page with your number. But at the end of the day, the data on the back end of this, so in this case, Remax, or the specific brokerage here for Remax, this agency they're getting all of the data that comes from this site. So one of the really big things that we do is we want to get people to essentially focus on one thing at a time, okay? So one of the problems in the real estate world that we've found working with quite a few clients is a lot of these pages aren't very different. There's not a lot of people that are kind of being unique or making a name for themselves. A lot of the ads, and I know this because I click on a lot of them. Like if I'm scrolling through Facebook, and even if it's not even a paid ad, a lot of times, you know, let's say I'm in a group. Like for example, I live in Gilbert, Arizona, and I'm on a group called Gilbert Friends, and there's tons and tons of real estate agents that will list a property on there. It'll go to a landing page that'll start showing pictures or whatever, or say, what's your home valued at? And it kind of doesn't let you go on and see anything else. You can start seeing some pictures. The problem with it is, though, to me, it doesn't really grab my attention. I might like the property, but it was more so I could just scroll around. I don't have a reason to work with you, is what I'm trying to say. And so essentially that company that owns that site, they control and kind of all the data that comes back from that. If you're not a very techie person, when you start running ads and you start doing things in the ad spend world and trying to capture leads, you're not really getting any of that in a way to retarget these people. You know, we always hear this in the sales world. You got to get your message in front of someone, you know, 7 to 10 times before they take an action on it. And that's what we believe, and we're going to show you a way that we can kind of cut that down. But yeah, basically the sites become a little bit cookie cutter. They're a little bit saturated. A lot of people just use them, like I said, almost as a catalog, almost as just a thanks for showing me your MLS. I'm going to go elsewhere. I have no reason to want to work with you, again, is what I'm trying to say. So what we're trying to do is we want you to create a unique place online for yourself. So for example, most people do paid traffic like this. They have, let's say, for example, Facebook is very, very popular. They're going to take a Facebook ad and they're going to send it to that website that I just showed you. Or let's say you're doing a good job and you have your own website. You went to GoDaddy, you bought a URL, and it's your own website. But again, it's doing the same things that company website does. Excuse me, it has everything about you. It's a catalog. They can access listings that you have and all this kind of stuff. But again, what's happening here is you're taking something that you're paying for traffic, or even if this is even a post inside of a group, and you're sending this to a page that someone has to do a lot of scrolling, and maybe they're on a mobile device, they have to pinch in and out. And what we want to do is we want to follow statistics, and our statistics are 2 to 4 seconds. I'm going to do the benefit of the doubt here. How long do we have to grab someone's attention online, especially through an ad? We have about 4 seconds. So now I'm talking, they see your ad, they're intrigued, they like it, they click on it. When they go to that site, again, we're seeing a lot more traffic coming from mobile devices. A lot of people don't want to sit on a website because a lot of people, like when they're looking through Facebook and such, they're doing it on time they have on the side. Maybe they're between meetings, or maybe you know, they're sitting in traffic or whatever, and they see this. They don't have time to save the page and go back and forth. We need to find a way to grab their attention, grab it quick, and then get them to do something. We do that through what we call micro commitments. Okay, so let me know if this makes sense. If anyone has questions, let us know. But what we like to do, and this is leading into our what we call a funnel, right? So again, think of a funnel and how it's shaped. We're building and building value at the top of the funnel to the point where we have trust, we have all these elements that's bringing someone down into a lead, a warm lead, or they want to work with us, or whatever. We have to hold their hand through this process. So because people have smaller attention spans, how do we break this down the fastest way possible? And again, we like to do this through micro commitments. So micro commitments, this is the concept of basically helping people focus on one thing at a time, and we get them to take an action that leads to another action. Okay, and so we believe, and I believe this full-heartedly because I come from interpersonal sales, just like everyone else on here. Excuse me, I've even done the whole door-to-door thing where I go door-to-door, and I need to get someone's decision from a no to a yes, like they've never seen me before, to we're going to sign this contract for the next 20 years in like 30 minutes, right? I come from that world, so you know, using persuasion and tactics and strategies to get someone from no to yes in a very short amount of time. What I found the most successful is micro commitments. The more yeses, it doesn't even matter if it's a tiny yes. The more yeses I can get out of someone, or actions, to me, those are yeses to the big picture, right? So in this case, if you want someone to buy a house or if they want to list their house with you, we need these micro commitments done, and we need them done strategically, right? And this is where we're seeing real estate agents really make a massive breakthrough, especially in the online world. So every action that someone takes, it makes them a warmer and warmer lead. So I have this little diagram here. We call it the secret formula. This is like our, I see our chicken scratch on here. This is basic stuff, but I'm telling you, it could be worth millions. It's worth, at least for us, it's made quite a bit of money, and we've actually used this strategy for all sorts of different campaigns. So I have two different things on here, the secret formula, and then at the bottom there we see the value ladder. So in this funnel process, what we want to do is we start...
Hey, Dylan. Hey, sorry to interrupt you. Can you make that a little bigger? It's hard to see for us. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. When I scroll out like that, do you see
it goes down. Yeah. So if you could just keep it.
Sorry.
Yeah. No worries. So so kind of what you're saying is like these little micro commitments, and I just want to kind of like reiterate what you're talking about.
Sure.
It's more or less like kind of like bring them into your world, ask them one question, not 10, and get them to go down a road that will help them determine where they really want to go, so you can kind of get to know them before you actually talk to them or start a conversation with them. Would that be what we're doing here? Okay, cool.
Nailed it. Yep, exactly. And that's where we have the secret formula. So before you do anything online, right, it sounds basic, but a lot of people look over this, right? So we need to know who we're talking to. We need to narrow down the type of fish that we're fishing, right? And then when we're getting ready to create our ads and our campaigns and all this kind of stuff, we need to know where it is that we're going to look. So one of the big things is relevancy. And Corey's going to talk a little bit about that, but we need to make sure that the stuff we're talking about is very, very relevant. So for example, I'm just throwing an example out there. Let's say our who, we want to make this as narrow as possible, right? If anyone's ever been fishing, I grew up in Colorado, and I love fishing. I love specifically fly fishing. Fly fishing, you have different hatches. You have different types of bugs, right? That specific bug is working for that day or week or hatch or whatever it is. So there was some times where we're not catching anything until I switch out my fly and we're trying something different. It's the same exact concept. It's all testing, and we got to find different types of bait that we're going to use. Okay, so that's why I said the bait right here. So once we have these elements together, and then where it is that we want to take them, once we get them and grab them, and that's what we bring into this value ladder. Okay, so right here, this is like a home sale, right? So we obviously can't go straight to this ladder because people aren't ready for it. So let's say an example, let's say we're targeting renters, okay? And maybe those renters that they got married, they're renting, first-time home buyers, we want to start targeting with really relevant information in one specific area for those renters, and the bait is going to be, right, and this is our big idea. This is what Christian's going to talk about. And we know exactly where we're going to take them, which is obviously to buy a house. So what can we find to fill in these blanks to get them to take these small steps, these micro commitments? So our price value for acquisition cost can drive down, and our price for that we're making on the customer can go up, right? So one of the things that we like to focus on, anything that we're doing online, these are the 5 main elements that we like to focus on, okay? We need to make sure that our website...
recommend everybody write these down. Oh, these are huge.
Yeah, this is...
Sorry to interrupt.
This is big because a lot of people skip out on a few of these, okay? So again, you got to remember, I come from the world, and a lot of us are used to, we do a lot of interpersonal communication. It's easier for us to persuade someone when we're talking and we're engaging. It's a whole nother world to do it online, so we have to find a way to fill in these gaps online. First way is obviously we got to create that need. Emotion, I would say, more than anything online, is the hardest thing to do because you're not there. You don't have your voice, your pitch, your rate, your body language. You don't have these things that you can use. Well, thanks to video, we have a little bit of help there, and we'll show you how we use that. But emotion is massive. Got to create urgency. We got to make it seem like, this is something fast. There's a deal for homeowners in this area that's going fast, right? We need them to take action quickly. We need to create that trust. They need to have a reason to work with you, because you got to remember, if they're going clicking on your ad, they've never seen you before, they could care less who you are, what you do. They just want to buy a house or sell a house, right? And we need to be able to overcome objections of, I don't have time, I don't have money, I'm not ready, right? And that's kind of what we get into. So I'm going to pass this off to Corey. If you got questions, save these for the end. It's going to make a lot more sense. So Corey is going to talk about traffic, targeting, specifically a Facebook pixel. So by show of hands, real quick, before I pass this on to Corey, put a 1 if you know what a Facebook pixel is. And let me know the response, guys, because I'm not seeing anything. Anyone know what a Facebook pixel is?
Absolutely, and let me see if I can get it right. So a pixel is something that is put on a, like, for example, if you go to Amazon and look for something to buy, which everybody's doing right now, and let's just say you're looking for a Mac computer, and all of a sudden you go to Facebook, and on Facebook on the right hand side you see the same exact Mac computer that you just looked at on Amazon. What they did was they put a pixel on your computer that said, hey, this person's interested in this specific product. We're going to put it in front of their face until they either buy, die, or opt out, is what I say, which is what they've done, is put a pixel on there saying, hey, just track this person. Wherever they go, put this up in front of their face. Would that be correct?
Scott, yes, cool. That's absolutely correct. What we want to do is we want to pixel someone. It's like us putting a stamp on them so we can retarget them. So yeah, if you ever have that moment where you're scrolling through and you're like, holy crap, I just Googled that. How does it know? And all of a sudden it's that wallet that you Googled one time, you say, okay, I'm just going to buy the dang wallet, right? That's what a pixel is, and that's what we want to show you, the power of some of the changes, even in the past 2 weeks, that Facebook has made. So Corey, take it away. You're the man now. I'm going to go on mute right here.
So can I break this down for everybody listening? Because I think this is bigger than what anybody can even comprehend online. So let me just give you an example, and then Corey, I'll let you go into what you do, because I'm sure that's going to be brilliant. So let's just say somebody hits your website for whatever reason, maybe a Facebook ad, maybe an email you sent out, whatever. So they hit your website, and they don't even do anything to it. But then they start seeing your website or something from your website everywhere else. They go to Facebook, they go to Instagram maybe, they go to Twitter, they go to Snapchat, wherever they go. They start seeing you all the time. That's pretty cool. I was going to use another term, but that's pretty cool in that if you're constantly putting content up and trying to build a brand of who you are and what you do for a living, and then all of a sudden they start opting into stuff. Well, I'm thinking about it. Well, when people start thinking about buying or selling, they don't do it right then. They start researching and doing research. Well, if you start showing up and you start giving, and I'm sure you guys are going to cover this because you're experts at it, you're going to give us, well, if they click this button and go here, this is what they want. So, well, let's give it to them. So let's put that ad in front of them. What's the value of my home? I don't know. What is the value of my home? Shoot, let me find out. Man, this guy seems like he's familiar. Is that that's kind of what you're going to go into?
Yeah, man, nailed it. We're done with the webinar. Let's go close it out.
Oh no! This is interesting as all get out to me. So I just wanted to break it down for the people on the call. So if you guys are trying to track ads on Zillow and Boomtown and all this stuff, these guys can take those ads and put them into something that's really cool that keeps them with you instead of has them go somewhere else.
That was the key point right there. Is a lot of people don't realize that 95% of the traffic's going to leave and never come back, right? So if you don't have that pixel on your website, then you're losing out on a whole lot of traffic that you could have captured again. And if that's where, as Dallin pointed out earlier, and that's one of the biggest issues that I personally see and have with a lot of the broker websites, is that they don't have, for one, I noticed that they don't have a Facebook pixel on them half the time. And if they do, the direct real estate agent doesn't have ownership. They're not the ones that controls that. So that's where the pixel could be really big, is that it allows you to control your marketing activities after they hit your website. And you totally nailed it. Like you said, if you go to Amazon, you look at your favorite shoes, you go to Facebook, Twitter, any of the platforms, you're going to go and see those same shoes that you just looked at on the whatever platform that you're looking at. And I think that's the beautiful thing about the Pixel. And the new thing, I mean, you guys have probably, Pixel's been out for a long, long time now. And Facebook, the cool thing with Facebook is they really, really changed the game. They have gotten really smart with their Pixel. They have made it so advanced that there's so many different variables you can go into the back end of Facebook. And if we had enough time, I mean, I would go through it, but we just don't have enough time for that today. But what you could essentially do is create audiences in Facebook based off what pages they visit. So what Dallin was speaking about earlier is those micro commitments, right? So when you have those commitments, I mean, the problem with a lot of real estate websites is they have their sellers, they have their buyers, they have everybody coming to the same website, and it gets pretty difficult to segment and retarget them. Versus if you were really segmented, really had maybe a vision for where you wanted to send your people, make it just buyers or make it just sellers, you could retarget to a message that's going to communicate a lot better, because a buyer and a seller is two totally different messages, and being able to speak to them directly in the message that they want to hear is going to allow you to be a lot more successful online. And I mean, overall, I don't want to get too complicated, because I mean, you can get crazy with pixels. And I think, I mean, the main thing is if you don't have a website that you control right now, I would highly look at that, and Christian's going to dive into kind of showing you how easy the software that we have here that we use every single day. And
well, Corey, let me jump in here too real quick, because I know you're going to cover this stuff, and I'm just going through all the questions. So first of all, I want to thank you guys that are commenting, that are putting your questions in here. That helps us out a lot, makes it much easier for us to be able to ensure that we cater the information so that you guys are getting the most out of this. And as you're talking about this Pixel, there's a lot of people that haven't heard of it, but there's some people that have some sort of notion. And so, you know, just a couple clarifying things for a couple people that mentioned tracking cookies. A Pixel is not a tracking cookie. That's something totally different, and it has nothing to do with SEO. But what we're going to cover once Corey discusses this idea of the Pixel, Robbie English asked about how can you give your Pixel to your broker to put it on your company website. And I just want to point this out, because, Robbie, this is exactly why we're here. So your question, in a nutshell, kind of encompasses the entire thing that we want to talk to you guys about today, starting from what Dallin said, what Corey's going to cover here, and what I'm going to hopefully blow your minds with here in about 10 minutes. So if that phone's ringing and it's not that important, just hold on, or send that message that says, I'll call you back, I can't talk right now. So I'll let you get back to it, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, the question that they asked was, I mean, yeah, definitely a relevant question. I mean, with Facebook pixels, I mean, ultimately, you're going to want to have your own pixel for yourself. You're not going to want to put it on the broker website. That's where you're going to want to have your own real estate, right? Just, and that's where I think it's a big problem with a lot of either just real estate agents, network marketers, just anybody in general that is offered a website from a higher company. You don't have the same control, and I think that's where you really need to look at yourself and really think, all right, so am I going to do this for the long term? Am I in business? Do I want to stay in business, do what I'm doing right now 5 years from now? Even 2 years? If the answer is yes, then I mean, you want to control your online activities, and I think that comes down to really diving in and really, yeah, I mean, making it happen with your own platform. And as far as the Pixel goes, I mean, there's all kinds of pixels on Facebook, all the different social media sites. And I think that ultimately what I always recommend, the first pixel that I always recommend is make sure that you get your Facebook pixel in, and that's kind of what we've been talking about mostly here. Just to clarify, there's pixels everywhere that you can get them, but Facebook is going to be the one we're talking about, and the one that I would highly recommend going after and getting.
So I'm going to add something on here too, Corey, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
The way I like to think about this from a sales perspective is the pixel. What Facebook has done is they've allowed this pixel, I like to think of it as a seed. Okay, so when you put a seed in someone's computer, so we a lot of us understand like cookies, how cookies work on web pages. It's like that, but it's a little bit different because a pixel can actually get smarter. What Facebook's algorithm has done is they've allowed it for this pixel essentially to blossom, and it knows how to blossom because of the places that the advancements of where this pixel is placed. So kind of like Scott just mentioned, when they're on this page or this page, right, one thing we can do is segment them. So if we have one page that's strictly and specifically for buyers, another page that's specifically for sellers, Facebook's going to know where that pixel is to know how to retarget these people when we create these lookalike audiences and these other ways to retarget these people. But what I like to look at a pixel as when we're taking it through a funnel concept, right? We're coming back up here into, right, we're taking them through a series. We're taking them through small micro commitments. So let's say we have multiple pages. We have their mind on one thing at a time. Well, one of the things that we can do now, thanks to Facebook, is our funnels just became way, way smarter. So if someone's gone so far in your funnel before they've left, well, Facebook's going to know how far they went, and we can retarget them based on how far they are in their process. So it's kind of like an email sequence, right? Like if any of you use Infusionsoft or any sort of automated email where the emails now are relevant to what you're seeing, well, when we do a retargeting ad, they're not going to see the same ad. It's going to be something different like, oh, we noticed that you forgot to take an action when you went to our website. Like, whoa, how do they know? That's the power of a pixel, and that's how you can get a lot more leads and buyers. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I definitely like your analogy and how you definitely painted that picture there. That was awesome. One person asked, how do you get this pixel and put it on your website? It's really pretty simple. I mean, once you're into your Facebook page, all you have to do is go to the top right where the arrow is, click that, and then click on Manage Ads. And then once you click on Manage...
Here's an easy thing for them to do. We do a Facebook live show every single Friday, and we actually just covered that exact thing, and there's a link inside the comments with a video that Facebook puts out that shows you exactly step by step. So if you go to if you search us on Facebook at The Lead Solution on Facebook, you'll see Facebook Live episode 5 for the Lead Mode show, and I think it's the very last comment.
And we'll throw up our contact information as well. If anyone wants to reach out to us, we're more than willing to help people. If you want to schedule a time and talk to us, we can help you create these pixels and kind of help you figure out the way to segment them and you know, make them work for you. Absolutely. Corey, do you have anything else that you wanted to touch on, or should we just get crazy here and start building funnels?
Yeah, I mean, that's what people want to see is I think they want to see now kind of how they implement it, right? Or kind of the strategy behind everything, right? So now they got the big idea. How do they implement this stuff? And I think that's what they want. That's what I want.
Christian, can I give you power here and take over screen and jump right in?
My fingers are going crazy. I can't believe how many questions there are. These people are loving it.
It's good.
Good stuff.
I'm ready to start dropping some dimes. If you guys are ready to see what these guys are talking to you guys about is really the meat and potatoes, and I just get to come in and look like Superman with the cape on, and you know they're giving you the dirty roll up your sleeves, try and figure this stuff out, and I'm just gonna swoop in here like a knight on a white horse and show you guys the fun stuff on how you put it together. So if you're ready for that, put a 1 in the comments. I want to see these questions start just going crazy, because I got what I'm about to show you guys is going to make those that are tech challenged, those that get frustrated with spending money on Facebook and paying expensive website designers and all this stuff, make those magically disappear. Some big hopes and promises. I don't see any 1s, guys. Let me see these 1s. Okay, there we go. Less talking, more duty. Kelly's been hitting the comments here. So Kelly, this is where the do comes in. I need a white knight. All right, Sherry, I got you. Joseph says, let's do it. John's got like 51s here. Oh, Tom tried to one-up John. So, all right, guys, we're ready. We've not spent any money yet on any ads with Daniel. Good, because you can't spend money on ads until we dive in here and get to show you guys what we're going to do. So I started in this business. I got 15 years of commercial real estate experience. Corey's got, what do you have, Corey, like 8 years of residential doing wholesales and flips. And like Dallin said, Dallin has done probably more of the sales that neither you or I really want to do or have the gusto to do. So Dallin's like, Dallin's the guy that's willing to go knock on doors when it's 98 degrees in North Carolina with an 80% humidity factor. And we sit and do our sales in a nice cold office with air conditioning and sweet tea. And so between the three of us, we've got a lot of this experience in sales, and I really got frustrated, like a lot of you probably are experiencing, with trying to generate leads online, or not even trying to generate leads online, just trying to generate leads. Like, I didn't even distinguish online or offline. A lead was a lead. But there's really a very drastic and deciphering difference between generating leads online and doing it in person. We can go to a networking group. We can go mingle and get referrals and do that day in and day out. But how do we take that exact same thing that we're doing at a hotel networking event and transfer that online? And so the first part of it is really what Dallin had talked to you guys about, and what Corey started to dive into the conversation with you about, is understanding who you're targeting. Because when we're doing it offline, it's a lot easier to hear the opportunity come up in a conversation, or have somebody that just hands you or makes an introduction and gives you a person's phone number and says this person is interested. But it doesn't work that way online, because people are overloaded with information. They're constantly being bombarded with content. And so, like Dallin said, you have 4 seconds to grab someone's attention. And if you don't do what Corey was talking about, you don't even get that 4-second opportunity, because they're never going to see your page. So for those of you that have a website that is on your company's site, that's a great start. That's awesome, because you at least have a presence. And the number one problem that we tell clients and we tell customers and students and everything is that the worst thing you can do is not have an online presence. So I know a lot of you talked about social media. That's great. That's the start of it. And what we want to do is we want to help show you how you don't need to be a super coder, techie, Infusionsoft expert to be able to get started, because it's about taking imperfect action and figuring it out as you start going. So do I have, I think, everyone looking at my questions here that are up on my screen, all the ones?
No, they can't see them. No, they can't see
them.
them.
I didn't know if they could see all that, Scott, so let me minimize that. You guys, you two, Corey and Down, you guys are in charge of the questions now, because I'm about to get in my glory. Oh, can you see me?
Yep, I can see you.
So when I
you
minimize,
want to show your screen, or what do you want to do, bud?
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Share your
I want to. Can I minimize and still see you guys and share my screen? I guess
Let
I
me
can't.
just get it to attendees. Christian.
Are you guys seeing my screen?
1 second. Okay, if you click share my screen under sharing, we'll be able to see your screen.
Now do you see everything?
There we go. Okay, I see your daughter.
All right.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Cool. All right. So this is what we call, this is the inside of a software that we use that's called ClickFunnels. We're going to talk to you about this software because this is really what we built our entire foundation of our business on. And so when I got into building funnels or learning about this concept of funnels about 3.5 years ago, nobody knew what a funnel was. At that time, it was called a campaign. You might have heard of Infusionsoft, Entreport, some of these different, I know somebody talked about CRMs. Everything that was funnel related was done via email, and it came through having a website where somebody clicked on something. But things have changed, and they've changed quickly. And what we're seeing now is, just like Corey and Dallin were talking to you guys about trying to niche down, well, none of us have the money to spend to go and create a bunch of websites that are super, super specific. And so where websites are changing now is they're really for content and authority. And so if you go to our website, theleadsolution.com, you're going to see that it's really just for blogs. It's for our blog content, it's for video content, and it's to kind of, give people more information about who we are. There's no selling on there. There's no products offered. But because we have an entire room full of real estate agents, if you think of your website like a house, you're going to have people that don't know you at all. Cold traffic, Facebook, Google, social media, never seen you before, and you want them to come through the white picket fence up your paver walkway onto your big porch with your nice door. You want them to see the best, right? And that's coming through your website. That's all your information. But then you're going to have clients or referrals, things like that, who you're going to send through the side door, right? Those are people that are somewhat familiar. You're comfortable telling them, come through the side of the house. I'll have a glass of wine or a beer waiting for you on the table. And then you have your clients, your best friends, the people that come to you who have worked with you forever, who can come just straight through the back door. Okay? Park in the alley. Don't worry about the barking dog next door, the kids' toys. Just come right in. The washing machine's broken. I got to get it fixed this weekend. That's how our customers work. And so it's too hard for us to create a website that speaks specifically to each one of those people, and it's too expensive. We don't know coding. We don't know all this stuff. ClickFunnels became our, let me see, not right now. Can you guys still hear me? I got some weird pop-up that came up.
Good. So yeah, we got you good.
All right, cool. So I just want to make sure. All right, so ClickFunnels came along, and a good friend of mine, Russell Brunson, saw a need to make this super easy to be able to create these very specific, what we call funnels. And so if you think of a funnel, it's literally a website that's been niched down. So what Dallin and Corey were talking about, where we want to speak specific to people, it became our way. It became our way of being able to create these super quick. So what I'm showing you here is just a very simple, very simple what we call a front-end funnel. And I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to, in 5 minutes, throw together a quote-unquote niche-specific website or a funnel. So in here we just have a couple of pages. We have an opt-in page. We have a thank you page. We have all of our stats. We can, let me move this. We can come in and, let's let it load.
Hey guys, while you're letting that load, hey, I'd like to ask everybody on the call, would you guys like to have these guys back and maybe walk us through? I mean, here's my thing. I want to talk with you guys about what I want you to do for me, and I don't want to do any of this stuff. I want you guys to do it, and I know you guys have that. So I'm all about delegating stuff that isn't money-making activity for me, because you guys are the experts. But are you guys cool with coming back and doing because I think Facebook is so big right now, and there's a lot of people that, there was a post that come up on Agent Mastermind, if you're not a part of it, there's about 16, we're coming up on 17,000 agents right now on the private Facebook group. And one of the questions was, hey, I'm not getting anything off of Facebook. And I think the one big thing is nobody knows how to use Facebook to generate leads, build relationships, go deeper with them, keep in front of them, automatically. And I think you guys nailed it on the head. Is I think you guys would be a huge hit to show people how to do it. And then if you're like me, go, you know what, just do it for me. Let's rock this thing out until Facebook changes something. Because they'll change it. They probably already changed it right during this webinar. Because they're so crazy like that. So you guys are in charge of keeping up with that stuff and keeping me in front of my database. So how many people on this call, put a 1 in there if you guys are interested in having these guys come back and share with us the Facebook pixel thing and how to set that stuff up or what. Okay, cool. It looks like overwhelmingly they want you guys to come back. You guys are interested, so.
Yeah, and Scott, you know that our biggest feedback that we get is it's traffic. Like literally, once we have teach people how to ads and do it on a lot narrower way, but it's crazy because you have to get a solid correlation between the ads and where the ad is taking them to. And that's where this
absolutely.
It's massive.
Yeah, because it kind of kills it. If you got an ad going and you take it to your webpage and there's nothing on your webpage to keep them there more than 4 seconds, it's kind of a loss. You're kind of dead. Like, what's the use of running the Facebook ad? Because you have no micro. You're not asking them anything. You're just sending them to a broad. There's no take action piece. So
yeah, and that's what you guys fill in. That's what I'm going to dive in here real quick, Scott. Is just show them how simple they can throw up these niche websites. I mean, literally to the point that if you guys have an idea, you can throw it up and you can test it with what we can come back and show you guys with Facebook. That's the whole thing about this, is it's all about testing. And the reality is that 8 out of 10 things you test online are going to fail, but you only need 2 of them to succeed. You only need 1 of them to succeed to really be set up forever. Like, I mean, you can scale. When you find a winner, you can scale it so quick using Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all this paid traffic, but most people never test enough things to find that one winner. And so this is really kind of our thing. So if you guys don't mind, I'll just dive in here real quick, and I'll show you how simple we could create a niche real estate funnel just for generating leads. Is that cool, Scott?
Oh, that's cool, man. Yep. We got about. I like to be respectful of everyone's time, so we got about nine minutes.
Get right to the building.
Yep.
Oh, pressure's on, Corey, Christian. 9 minutes to build a working funnel.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy because we already have the template.
That's cool.
All right, so now you guys see we're jumping into the editor, and I mean, this for most people, right? This looks pretty good. Oops, these things are in my way. How do I minimize? I gotta move. All right, so couple things that we would. This is somebody who had some fairly decent success using this page to generate. I think they were spending about $7 or $8 a lead on Facebook ads, and converting those to to sales at about probably 2 to 3%, which is pretty good. And so there's a few things, and I'll just show you guys how quickly you can do this. If we wanted to change this background, we would go grab a different picture house by just coming in, background settings. We got a whole host of images. It's going to be slow. We got a whole host of images in here in our database, but we could literally just grab a. I think I actually.
And so you could actually set up different. Because really the verbiage is going to be the kicker here, what it says and what it's going to take action. So you could set up 3, 4, 5, 6 of these things and go, all right, I'm getting more on this one. Let's put more money here, or like start.
Yeah. So what we would recommend is, if you want to try and figure out exactly who your audience is, like let's say for example that you're, that you're a realtor that works with people that have beat up credit, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that's why today buy a house for $750 guaranteed, right? They're talking about trying to get the mortgage payment down, and you could get even more specific and come in here and say no matter, you could say no matter what your credit score is. Okay, well if I'm somebody that has bad credit, this is gonna interest me. But we might even get more specific and say buy a house today in the Inland Empire, right?
Yep.
For $750 guaranteed. Well, I mean that's pretty crazy, right? California real estate prices, but we're not telling you guys to make up some big bold claims. These are, you have to back these claims.
Got to be real.
But I want to show you. I just want to show you how easy and quickly it is. Everything's drag and drop, right? So we don't need a phone number, right? Like, I don't need to collect a phone number right now. The most important thing and what we recommend clients is the less you ask for up front, the higher the chances are that you're going to get somebody to give it to you. So to be honest with you, I don't really even need their name, right? I just need their email address, because once I have their email address, now I don't have to pay Facebook and pay somebody else. So if I just say, email address, yes, I want to buy a house, right? We can change this to, yes, I want to learn more, right? We can do all kinds of things. If we want to add, add some other stuff, let's say we need to give them more information. We just come in here and we literally can add in. And don't worry about how fast I'm going, guys. I'm trying to beat the clock. But we've got all kinds of stuff to help you guys see how, learn how to use this, do this kind of stuff. But if we want to add in here, some blind bullets or some things about in under 30-day approval period, right? I'm just coming up with stuff. Be in your new house within 45 days, right? And I can just come in here, change the color, make it white. We can add shadows. Okay, super easy. Okay, this is just our front page. So when we talk about, the reason I deleted all that stuff is one thing that people do is ask for too much up front, like I said. So really all you guys need to worry about is collecting emails and starting to grow an email list. And I know a few people mentioned CRM and doing email correspondence. That's a whole nother topic that we could come on here with Scott and talk about, is how to use email marketing correctly, because we see a lot of mistakes being made in building that relationship through email marketing. Only sending people stuff when you have something to sell them. It's not really the greatest thing. But let me throw this out here. So Scott, you mentioned that a lot of people say, hey, get a free CMA on your house, right?
Right.
It's a big thing right now.
What's the value of your home? Yeah, the value of your home. What's your neighborhood home selling for? Stuff like that.
Yeah, let me challenge you guys and say, if everyone else is offering a CMA, do you really want to be doing that too?
Right.
We always recommend, if it sounds counterintuitive, right? If something's working, just keep doing it. But when you're in online marketing, you don't stick out. Okay,
right.
It's old, it's been overplayed. So, I mean, how about offering a free report, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on here, maybe we say, we add something in here that says, grab your free report on the 5 best loans to help fix your credit.
There you go.
Okay, another idea.
Value ladder. We're starting very small. We're not saying buy our house, buy this, list this, right? We're starting super small. We're getting action.
Stop asking people to buy something from you when they don't even know who you are, and they don't really care, honestly. Like, there's so many people out there. Show them and give them a reason for why they should start working with you that doesn't require them spending, you making $5,000 and then them spending, $20,000 or their, $50,000, $100,000, their entire life savings.
A PDF that maybe has the top 5 places to put $2,000 into fixing up your home before you sell, or whatever, right? What appraisers want to see before you list your house, or things like that, right? It's just going to get someone to make a commitment. We want to pixel them and we want to grab information. Once we have that, we can deal with them later. We can deal with them through email sequence or other ads or whatever.
Yeah, so just to bring this all together, because I think there's a little bit of confusion. So these guys, Dale and Corey and Christian, they do a bunch of different things. One of them is these little websites. Now, this isn't your one website that you would have. It'd be a piece of your website, or it'd be an ad on Facebook that would go to this website. The cool part about this is you just keep testing and tuning. It's going to change. Like, the best part about this industry is that there's change, right? It's always going to change. So there might be something going on right now where you would run an ad, like, but I mean, there's standards too for different things that work better than others, and so as these guys do this stuff and they work with more people, they find out what's working. They find out, and they have a complete. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you guys have a done for you type thing where you have a complete website, yes, a whole website, plus these little opt-ins, plus these little funnels, plus.
Well, so Scott, let me clarify that for you. So each time we build one of these funnels, like I tell you, yes, it's very quick and it's very easy for you to do this, and you have to test. But the thing that we do when we build funnels for people, when we do the done-for-you services, is we have different. So just like Dallin mentioned, the value ladder. You know, a funnel like this, we're going to get a higher conversion rate because, number one, we know how to send the right type of traffic to this page. And that's what we're telling you, is that it takes practice, right? And we can help speed up that curve. So one of the mentors, one of the guys that I learned this from, said there's two ways to create success. Number one is you can work for it, or number two is you can pay for it, right?
There you go. Yeah,
you know, you work for it. It takes a lot longer. So how many people typically want, who wants success fast?
Everybody.
Exactly. No one's going to say they want it slow. Well, to speed that curve up, you have to pay for things. You have to pay to learn. You have to do all these things. And a lot of people are trying to figure it out on their own, and it's taking a lot longer. And they're getting the school of hard knocks lesson. And so what we do is we definitely help people figure out if you want a website, like we said, an authority site, things like that. That's one thing. But we want to educate people on how to use the right tools, so they're not wasting. There's a lot of landing page services out there that do just this. This is not a landing page, okay? This gives us the ability to add these two pages. So let's say, for example, we want to save this, right? Okay, and I exit out. Once it's saved, it's taken, okay? And I exit out, and now we have a thank you page on the back side here. This isn't a funnel, okay? This is just collecting emails. But if I wanted to add, let's say, a service or a product, if we wanted to create something off of this, we have the ability to start adding pages, right? So I can come in here, and just like Dallin was showing you this value ladder, we have the ability, if somebody is interested here in giving us their email, well, now we can make them some sort of offer, right? Maybe we have a $97 inspection special, right? You know, something. There's always the ability to make an offer once somebody has taken that micro commitment. And so these funnels give us the ability to just add pages and do it quickly.
There's a lot of great questions coming in that I think we can answer on that next call, where we talk about the Facebook ads, the pixels, all these pages. Like, people are asking, how do you send them a PDF, and how do you do this and how do you do that? So I think it'd be a great segue into our next call. So if you guys want to come back, I'd love to have you guys back, and I don't know if the 20th works for you guys. December 20th would be my next opening. If that works, great. If not, we'll reschedule for after the holiday. But
we can figure something out.
Cool.
So let me pull this down and get on.
So if somebody wants to chat with you and say, hey, you know what, just set this up for me, or hey, what do I need to do to work with you guys, and what would be the best? How do they get a hold of you?
So we have two things, because we figured that there's people fall into one of two buckets. Number one is they like to be hands-on and they like to learn it and do all that type of stuff themselves. And they just want to know what's going on behind the scenes. And so because of that, since I have my screen up, we have what we call the resource vault. And this is we've put together for people that want to grab this software and want to start learning it. We've got a bunch of resources on our website.
Let me share mine, and I can show them the exact links. And
yeah, why don't you do that, John?
Yeah, share my screen. I can't.
How do I do that? Do I have to change it?
Scott.
Oh yeah. Okay. Who's screen? Dallin?
Make Dallin the presenter.
All right. Whoops. Let's see here. What the heck did I lose? Oh, there we go. There we go. There's 2 Dallins in here. There we go. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There you go, brother. Just gave it to you.
Okie doke.
All right, so go to that screen, and then we'll pop that up. If you guys got questions, want to kind of talk to these guys, there we go.
So
right there.
again, here's this. This is what we put together. So grab a screenshot of this or watch it in the replay. But the first link is going to go to, let's see, I believe it's this one. So this is if you just want to schedule a time, talk to us. We can do a free consultation, kind of dissect what you have going, give some input, give you an idea if you want to work with us. The second link right here, if you want to try to do this yourself, we've put together a lot of trainings, a lot of little how to do it yourself, but we put together a vault, and this is all it's going to be. You're going to have access to join the funnel software. We can get you access for a couple weeks because we're one of the big affiliates of that software. We can get you quite a few different trainings that not a lot of people get if you just go to the website. We'll put together a few done-for-you funnels we've already built if you want some that are kind of templated out and you can tweak them and do stuff yourself. But yeah, in here,
Dallin, what we'll do today too, if Scott will give us, Scott, can we get a recording of this webinar training?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so
it'll be up by the end of the day.
What we'll do, and what Dallin's showing you guys, is for those of you that do want to kind of dive into this and get your hands dirty, roll up the sleeves a little bit and test it, we always are here. And of course, we'd love to work with you and do this for you. But if you want to, if you're that type of person that's like, I need to see what this is and kind of get a feel for it, coming here, you'll get access to all these bonuses that we put together. We put together, there's over 6 hours of training on how to specifically use this software, training from Corey on how to go in and do how to look at your traffic strategy. This is not available if you go to ClickFunnels. Like if you go to that website, you won't have all this stuff. If you come using this link, you'll have access to that. And what we'll do is we'll create inside of our members area where we'll put in a recording of this, including that funnel that I was building. So if you want that, real estate funnel, we'll go. Why is it? It says.
Hey, and just FYI, and I need to run. I got to jump on another call, but just an FYI, down in the chat section of this, I put a link down there. I did a screen capture of this right here in case you missed it. You can click on it. You can just save that link. It'll open up another web page for you to get a hold of these guys as far as email and the different links that they have there. So.
Hey, we really appreciate you having us on. We're very passionate about this stuff. If you can't
tell.
It
shows. Yeah, it shows, man. I really appreciate you guys, and it excites me. And I think that we need to kind of dive deep on, let's go through an actual example next time and go. All right, I'm going to take this Facebook ad, and this is where I'm going to run it to, and this is kind of like step by step of what a buyer or a seller would do or see or go through when they come to something that you guys would set up for them. I think it'd be really cool and valuable. So
yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Okay, thanks
all right,
everyone.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys. The link down there is at screencast right down there in the chat section. It's down in there. Christian, Corey, Dalen, man, I appreciate you guys coming on. I look forward to working with you guys, man. It's gonna be some fun.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
Thank you, brothers. See ya. Have a good day, guys. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure to go to our private Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Agent Mastermind. And next week, really excited to announce we're going to have the Drone Master back on talking about drones, and you don't need to be a commercial pilot anymore. So he's going to share with us what you need to do to be able to use drone in your real estate business. I'm really excited about that. So it'll be next Tuesday. So until then, we'll see you guys on the web. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Timber.